Let's discuss how to practically apply ISO to a variety of filming situations. So how do I choose which ISO to shoot at? Well, because digital cameras don't render the nicest looking noise, I tend to aim to get the cleanest image possible. That usually means filming at the lowest ISO setting a camera offers. I also aim for the greatest dynamic range, and the way to do this is to film at your camera's native ISO. When filming at native ISO, the camera is not required to increase voltage to the sensor, and this is typically where the camera's sensor operates best. Every camera has different native ISOs and renders noise differently, so it can become a bit overwhelming. It might require you to search online to find your camera's native ISO. To simplify things, in the best case scenario, try to stick to shooting in your camera's native ISO. Otherwise, I'd recommend shooting at the lowest ISO your camera can go. In brighter environments, it'll be a lot easier to keep your ISO low. But shooting in dimmer locations, you will find yourself increasing your ISO. Every camera is different when it comes to ISO. Some are more sensitive than others. This means that at higher ISOs, you may get a lot of noise in the shadows, and it's important to understand the limits of your camera. So try this. Find a black fabric and film in a dimly lit space. Turn up your ISO until you start to see noise in the fabric. Once you find out how far you can push your camera's ISO and still get a clean image, take note of that ISO and aim to film below that point. Let's recap. Both high ISOs and low ISOs have their pros and cons. To simplify things, shoot at your camera's native ISO or stick to base ISO. Every camera has different low light abilities, and with better technology, it's getting easier to record a clean image. You may need to test out your camera at higher ISOs to determine what amount of noise is acceptable to you. Try to work in an ISO range below that mark. Before we learn about shutter speed, let's discuss frame rates, coming up next.